Okay, hi, this is Shabrit Uganda e-learning. My name is Nelson Biswamba. This is my telephone number, our email, elearning@shareability.net. In today's video, we shall be able to solve a fraction of different denominators. Remember, last time we are dealing with addition of fractions of the same denominators, subtraction of fractions of the same denominators. But in today's video, we shall look at how do we solve fractions that deals with different denominators. Okay, how do we deal with fractions, especially when you are adding fractions of different denominators, when you are subtracting fractions of different denominators. We shall be able to understand if they give you a different denominator and they are telling you to add, okay, how do you deal with them? We shall be able to see if they give you a subtraction of fractions that have different denominators, how do we find those answers? This is a bit tricky, and we shall be able to understand, and at the end of this lesson everyone shall be able to solve addition of a fraction with different denominator and the subtraction of fraction with a different denominator. We shall purposely use very many methods that are simple for you to understand. Okay, so we are going to start with adding fraction of different of different denominators. Remember, when a recap of what we said this is a numerator and this is a denominator. This is a numerator, this is a denominator. So we can look at our denominators here. They are totally different, okay? But in our recent videos, these denominators were like the same. If you have a 2 here, also here was a 2, but here they are totally different. We have a 2, here we have a 3. These numbers are totally different. So we shall be able to see how do we come up with this. We have very many methods that we shall use, and I know in each of these methods everyone shall be able to see which one is simple for him. Okay, let's get started. Here we are going to use one method called using equivalent fractions. Okay, using equivalent fractions. Last time we talked about equivalent fractions, and we learned about how we can get an equivalent fraction. Now here they are telling us that we are going to use equivalent fractions for us to solve these fractions of us. We are going to use equivalent fraction. Who still remember about what we talked about equivalent fractions? Who can still remember about what we talked about equivalent fraction? Anyone with an idea? Good. Okay. So a recap of how to get equivalent fraction. We said equivalent fraction are fractions that have the same values, but with different with different numbers. Okay, they are the same, but they have different different numbers. Okay, for example, we are going to have a look at this. You have been see we have a 1 out of 2, and here they have given us a 2 out of 4 is equal to 3 out of 6, 4 out of 8, and 5 out of 9. So these are equivalent fractions. This fraction is the same as this one. This one is the same as this one. This one is the same as this one. So they are telling us we are going to use these equivalent fractions. After getting the equivalent fractions of ours, also we shall get an equivalent fraction of this. 1 out of 3, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 9, 4 out of 12. Okay, then after getting our equivalent fraction of 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 3, we shall be able to choose the common equivalent the common equivalent fractions, especially those that have the same denominators. We have 3 out of 6. Okay, also here we have a 2 out of out of 6. they are sharing the same what? The same denominators, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6. So we shall be able to choose this one. After choosing this equivalent fraction, we see what is the common denominator there, which is a 6. So we shall be able to say, okay, our 6 is going to be our what? Our common denominator. Then we shall be able to use our 6 here. We divide it by this and also divide it by this. Then we multiply the product. Okay, so let's start one by one. How do we first get this equivalent fraction? Okay, we said for us to get equivalent fractions, we look out for the value. Okay, look out for the value. For example, here when you have 1 out of 2, okay, 1 out of 2, and we want to get an equivalent fraction of 1 out of 2, we look out for any number. Any number may be 1 or maybe 2. Okay, so we multiply that number by the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so here we are going to take our numbers. What? Our numbers 2. Let's take our numbers 2. We can also take a 1, but when you multiply 1 by 1, the 1 by 2 still remains that number. Okay, so we are going to take our value as what? As a 2. Okay, so we shall multiply by 2. Okay, we shall say 2, 1. We multiply this 2 by the numerator. We multiply this 2 by the denominator. Okay, so here we shall be able to come up with our answer shall be equal to a 2 out of what is 2 times 2? We get 4. Okay, so we can see that this is our 2 out of 4 as what? As a multiple of 1 out of 2. Let's also get another what? Another multiple. Another multiple, 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. We are going to take a 3. Okay, we are going to take a 3 to be our value. We multiply this by 3, our numerator by 3, also multiply our denominator by 3. So our answer here shall be equal to what? What is 1 times 3? We shall get a 3. What is 2 times 3? We shall get a 6. Is this right? Yes. So we can see that we have also get another equivalent fraction, which is 3 out of 6. Okay, so also let's take another number. This is going to be 1 out of 2 times, which number should we take? The next number is, okay, let's take a 4. So we say 4 times our denominator here, and 4 times our 4 times our numerator, and 4 times our denominator. So we shall be able to come up with another answer here. What is 4 times this? We shall get 4 times 1 times 4. We shall get 4. Okay. Okay. What is 4 times 2 times 4? We shall get 8. Okay. This is 8. So we can also see that we have got another what? Another equivalent fraction. Alright. Should we also try another number? Let's another number be 5. So we say 1 out of 2 times the numerator by the 5 which we have chosen, and our denominator. Okay, this is 5 times our 5. Our 5, this is times. Okay, so when you say 5 times 1, we shall be able to get a 5. Okay, so we shall be able to get a 5 here out of what is 5 times 2? 10. Okay, so we can see that we have got our what? Our common what? Common we have got our equivalent fractions. Okay, so we have got our equivalent fraction 2, which is here, and 3, which is here, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 8, 5 out of 10. Okay, so this is how we get our equivalent equivalent fractions. Let's also look at how we can get the equivalent fractions of this. Okay, here we have 1 out of 3. Okay, 1 out of 3. Let us separate this. Okay, let us separate this from the others. Okay, we are going to start here. Let's start 1 out of 3. We are going to use our 2 times 2. Okay, like the way we have been using the other one. So here we shall be able to come up with what is 1 times 2. We shall get our 2 out of 6. Okay, you can see we have got our 2 out of what? Out of 6. Then you are also going to use another number, which is 3. Okay, 3. Then you multiply it by the numerator, which is 3 out of 3. We shall be able to get our answers. 3 out of what is 3 times 3? The answer is 9. Okay, so we can see we have got our 9 here as an equivalent number. Also, let's try another number here, which is a what? Which is a 4. This is out of 3 times another number, 4 out of 4. Okay, so here we shall be able to come up with a 4 out of 4 out of 12. 12 is from 3 times 4. So here we shall be able to get our equivalent what? Equivalent fraction. These are corresponding with this one. Okay, so now after getting these equivalent fractions, we shall be able to see which equivalent fractions are common. Okay, depending on their numerators and the denominators. So we shall be having our what? Our do we have a 2 out of 4 here? No. Okay, but we have the numerator here, the numerator, but we shall consider what? Only the denominators that are common. So we have a 6 here, we have a 6 here, and we also have a 6 here. Okay, in these denominators there is no any other denominators apart from 6 that do resembles. Okay, so we shall be able to choose our 6 because they have the same denominators. Right, so that means we shall now use our 6 as our common what? Common denominator when solving these numbers. Okay, so we shall say our 1, this 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 3. You are going to say 1 out of 3 plus 2 out of 6, and we shall get our common what? Common numerator. All right, our common numerators. Okay, our common numerator is what? I mean our common denominator, which is a 6. We bring it here. Then we add the numerators. Okay, we add the numerators, which is a 3 plus 2. Okay, so here we shall be able to come up with a 5 out of 6. Is that right? We shall be able to come up with a 5 out of what? 5 out of 6. So this is going to be to correspond to our what? To our answer. Okay, so we can also use another method. We talked about LCM. Okay, we talked about what we call LCM, lowest common multiples. Okay, the lowest common multiples. We saw how we can get the lowest common multiples, but this was not in fractions, it was in just numbers. Now here we can be able to get our lowest common multiple. Here we have 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3 plus plus 2 out of have 1 out of 3 plus no. Okay, this is wrong. I'm going to start it afresh here. I'm I'm going to start it afresh. It is 1 out of 2 plus 1 out of 3. Okay, so here we are going to look out on using another method which is called the LCM. We are going to get the LCM of 2 and 3. How do we get the LCM of 2 and 3? We just say 2 we say 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, what is 2 times 3? The answer is 6. Okay, so that means this is going to be our LCM. So we shall bring our 6 here, and we say what is 6 divided by 2? The answer is what? 6 divided by 2. The answer is 3. Okay, then we add. What is 6 divided by 3? The answer is 2. Okay, so this means we shall be able to add here and say, what is 3 plus 2 over 6 plus. So our answer here shall be equal to 5. Okay, 5 out of 6. You can see that we have got the same answer. So that's how we can also see, or we can use that is also a method that we can use to get our equivalent fractions of different denominators. Okay, so let's also look to another example here. Another example is subtracting fractions of different denominators. Okay, we are going to subtract fractions of different denominators. What do you do here? We are also going to use the same method of using equivalent fractions. Okay, so we are going to get the equivalent fraction of this. 3 out of 4, we have 6 out of 8, we have a 9 out of 12, we have a 12 out of 16, we have a 15 out of 20. Then also the equivalent fractions of 2 out of 3 is the same as 4 out of 6. Then 6 out of 9, 8 out of 12. Then we have a 10 out of 15. So we are going to look out for the common multiples, the common equivalent fraction. Okay, by looking at their denominators. Okay, so we can see this the equivalent fractions of this. We have a 12, we have a 4. Do we have a 4 down here? No. I have a 8. Do we have a 8? Have a 12. Do we have a 12? Yes. So we can see that we have this as our common denominators. Okay, so this means these are going to share. They are going to share. We shall be able to choose out and deal with these ones. Okay, so we shall be able to say our what shall be able to say. Remember, here we are going to deal with subtraction. Okay, subtraction. Now we are having our we are going to have our, this is 9 out of 12, then this out of this. Okay, let's try to do this. Let's try to calculate it from here. Shall be having our 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4, minus 2 out of 3. Okay, so we shall be able to get our answers. We are going to use our common common denominator, which is a 12. Okay, which is a 12. And here we shall be able to see. Remember, here we are trying to trying to subtract. We've got our common what? Our common denominator, which is a 12. Then we are going to use the same method. Let's say the same method, which is this is 3 out of 4. So here we are going to say using the same method, we have our 9 here, okay, which is 3 out of 4, then minus, okay, minus 8. Let's see. Because here we are dealing with minus. Let's see whether we can get the same answer or a different answer. Okay. This, what is here, we shall be able to get 1 out of 12. Is this answer really good? Okay, let's try to prove it. We can also, let's try to use another method for LCM, and we see whether we are going to get the same answer. Okay, so here we shall be having our 3 out of 4, okay, minus our 2 out of 3. So we are going to get our LCM. What is LCM? It is going to be our 4 times our 3, okay? So when you get the product of this, you shall be able to get 12, okay? So we are going to say that our common multiple is going to be 12. So we make the product of this. What is the 12? 12 divided by 4, we get 3. 3 times 3, we get a 9. Okay, good. Then we come here and say, what is 12 divided by 3? 12 divided by 3, we get a 4. A 4 that we have got is, what is 4 times 2? Okay, 4 times 2, we get 8. Okay, so we can see that we have got our same what? Same operation, which looks alike. Okay, so here we shall just subtract and get our answer, which is a 9 minus 9 minus 8, okay, out of 12. Assisted subtraction, we shall be able to get our 1 out of 12. Okay, so here they were not able to, here they used the addition, yet we are subtracting. Okay, so here they are supposed to use subtraction. Okay, here they are supposed to use what? Subtraction, for them to come up with a right answer. So this answer is right for addition, but wrong for subtraction. Okay, so our answer here is 1 out of 12. Right, so that is how we shall be solving. That is how we solve fraction, addition of fraction on different numbers, and subtraction of fraction on different denominators. Okay, so to give a recap on some more examples, I'm going to give you something here that you can try out. This is going to be addition. Let this be 3 out of 2. Okay, 3 out of what? 3 out of 2. So we are also going to solve this and look out for the answer. Using our same concept, we said, okay, let's change this to be a 4 for them to be different what? Denominators. Okay, so let's use that method of getting the LCM of this. Okay, LCM, I'll get the LCM of 2 and 4, which is 2 times 4. Okay, we get our answer as what? As our 8. Okay, so here we are going to use our what? Our 8. So we shall say 8. We shall say 8 divided by 2. Step by step we shall say 8 divided by 2. Okay, let's get it. 8 divided by 2, we get a 4. Okay, let me write it in full. Yeah, get a 4. A 4 times 1. Okay, let me put a bracket here, and we also add. Okay, we shall also say 8 divided by 4, we get a 2. Our answer is what? 2. Then we shall also multiply this by our 3. Okay, by our 3. But all of this is under what? All of this is divided by 8. Okay, so when you say this is going to be equal to a 4 times 1. Okay, 4 times 1 plus 2 times 3 out of 8. Okay, so here I shall be able to come up with 4 plus 6. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6, then divided by 8. Okay, so we shall be able to come up with our answer as 10 out of 8. So this is going to be our answer. Okay, to use the other method of equivalent, we have 1 out of 2 is equal to 2 out of 4. Okay, another method is 3 out of 6. Okay, the equivalent fraction. Another one is 4. Okay, 4 out of 8. Okay, these are the equivalent what? Fractions. Another one is 5 out of 10. Hope everyone is understanding where we are getting this. Then also another, we have a 3 out of what? Out of 4. 3 out of 4 is going to be equal to, okay, here is also equal to, here we are going to get our, what? We're going to get our 6. Okay, 6 out of 8. Okay, another equivalent fraction, you're going to get our 9 out of what? We're going to get our 9 out of 12. Okay, 9 out of 12. Another one is going to be 12. Okay, 12 out of 16. Okay, 12 out of what? 16. Okay, we can see in this one we have got our what? We have got our common denominators. Okay, common what? Common denominators. We have a 4. Do we have a 4 here? We have a 6. Do we have a 6 here? Have a 8. Do we have a 8 here? Yes. We have a 8 here and also have a 8 here. So we can be able to say that our 1 out of 2, okay, plus 3 out of 4, we shall be able to get our what? Our answer. We have got our common our common denominator, which is 8. Then we shall say we add what? We add this. Okay, here we have a 6